takes place partway through, and again, that's really where you start to explore how deep the cult goes. And we keep calling it a cult. It is. They do some weird stuff. It's where it's kind of the facility that Olivia, who you mentioned earlier, is the head of, and so
you're just breezing through these upgrades right now.
Yeah, this is just to get him set up.
I've done this a couple times.
Yeah,
I'm almost certain you have.
you normally wouldn't get to do this. This is kind of, as a developer, it's fun to just, oh my God, I got 75 points. I get to spend them however I want.
Yeah. Well, I can even imagine though people they're going to deep dive into this game for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine them just twiddling through all the menus and just flying through everything.
Yep.
And getting what they want with this, which of course it's always awesome. As people deep dive into games.
Yeah, and I think people will enjoy. I think speedrunners will have a good time, because when I watch guys at the office that are doing kind of the speed runs, they know exactly which room they want, which upgrade they want as they go through. So it is that thing. I get an upgrade point, and I'm banging through to kind of hit it. I think it's going to be a game that people really like to stream and create videos of. We have moments all the time in the office that just is like, I wish that was being recorded right now. So I think people will do that a lot.
Well, now might be.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
It's coming out. It's so close. May 13th, right?
That's right, May 13th.
Which is, I guess, both exciting and scary at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's mostly exciting. I mean, anytime you
scary in a good way.
Scary in a good way. It's we both have kids, and it's kind of like they're not quite college age yet. Mine aren't. Mine are closer. But it is kind of like sending a kid out there into the world.
Now this looks like downtown San Francisco,
exactly,
right here.
Yeah.
This, and I think that is, for anyone who's visited this, the only thing that's missing is like a homeless dude in the corner. But this is about it, right? BART station to the left, we're good there.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where the Hellspawn horn is located. What is going on here?
This is Titan's realm. So this is Hell's kind of broken up into these fractures, and this is a kind of what we call a fracture of Hell that is. Actually, you actually get a little bit of lore. These are what we call Slayer testaments. These are kind of some of the way that you get. Again, you just touch it. You can listen. You don't have to listen. Whatever.
We don't want to say what it's about. Though.
Yeah, we don't want to say what it's about. But you start to understand even more lore about Hell and the player and that kind of stuff.
you've Doom 1, Doom 2. You've gone there. You went there. You did that.
Yeah.
You went back again. You did it again.
Yeah.
But it was always just like you're shooting demons in Hell. That was always like the premise.
And that's what you'll see here. I mean, it's a lot of shooting demons in Hell. It's kind of taking the fight to their home turf.
Now this is a cool moment. I remember you guys showed me this yesterday.
Yeah.
And to me, this screams Doom.
Yeah. How often in a game do you get to jump down a demon's like a corpse to the demon's throat?
Land in a pool of blood.
Yes.
And then it pretty much just get bombarded as soon as you come out.
Yeah. This whole level is kind of built around the idea that it's this fracture of Hell that you're kind of continuing to go down through, and actually you end up on the other side of it. It's almost like going through an iceberg of Hell, and ending up on the bottom. But
really weird to use ice with Hell,
Yeah,
I respect it.
Hell freezes over. But this first part is kind of built in the as you saw there, you kind of went down. It's like a Titan demon graveyard.
Can Glory kill those guys?
You can actually, if you're up and you can get close enough to them, or they're low, you definitely can.
All right, here you go, your challenge, if you choose to accept it. If you run into another one, go for it.
Oh yeah.
I want to see that so bad. That'd be so sick.
So this is a Cyber Mancubus. There's so much to talk about as he plays through it.
Yeah, Cyber Mancubus.
The Cyber Mancubus. He's kind of a UAC kind of.
Kind of looks like my first girlfriend. That's what's up.
Whoa.
I had a rough high school. Yeah.
he had pulled up the chain gun with a modification. It's probably one of my favorite guns in the game with the modification of the mobile turret. Where you basically break it off into three guns basically, kind of all firing the same. And when we talked about the weapon wheel, again, like you get to carry your guns with you all of the time and have access to them. And as you get deeper into the games, revealing another little secret here. But as you get deeper into the game, not only do you have those 8 guns that are on the wheel,
I'm not going to reveal it.
but each mod.
You can't just go there and then choose not to reveal it, Hugo. It's just that's not how this works. You can't just tease the viewer.
You know what though? Like I'm worried we reveal too many secrets.
They've seen too much. They have seen too much. All right.
But the mods you can access. Once you have like a couple mods for a gun, you can only have one mod on a gun at a time. But you can switch between them really fast. You've seen him do that a couple times here, where he'll switch between 2 mods really fast, just a quick button press. So between the weapon wheel and having immediate access to all those guns, and each gun having a mod, and then kind of a fast switch to the other mod, you end up with like 20 different combinations of guns that you can use at any time. That's a great strategy right there. There's like pro tip, number 1.
Pro tip with Hugo, number 1.
Exactly. Like shoot a pinky with the stun, kind of stun him a little bit, and then swing around him and shoot him in the butt with the super shotgun is fantastic. While you're on this screen, not only the auto map there you can see, but we've talked about the upgrades. You get those through a number of different means. Leave that up for a second. So on the right-hand side there, you can see, leave the challenges up. You can see those challenges. So those are mission challenges. Again, these are totally optional. If you wanna get one upgrade point per challenge, you can do those. It keeps track of that and informs you. Then there's exploration challenges. So in this level, you can see there's 6 secrets. That you can find, and if you find half of them, you get 1 upgrade. If you find another, if you find all of them,
you get the weapon upgrade points.
Yeah, those are all weapon upgrade points, and then you get upgrade points. You can see up in the top right corner, you get upgrade points for just regular combat. So lots of different ways to earn upgrades, and then the mods actually have separate challenges to master them. Which makes them even more powerful, almost a level of power that is just, it's overwhelming. They really become super powerful and when you focus on a gun and make it a big part of the way you play.
Nice. So now you're basically just in full-fledged demon monster slayer mode.
Yeah, and
at this point.
once you memorize everything on the weapon wheel, you can kind of quick switch between it. I've been doing a lot of that, and make sure that you get the right sort of tool for the job.
It's actually, it kind of comes from the way, and the weapon wheel works great on the PC, but that desire comes from playing on the PC. When you play a game with all the guns, where you're carrying all the guns, it's way more important to be able to just reach up and hit the number key that you want. So we kind of wanted to design. For the consoles, design that capability where you can get to any weapon really quick without having to cycle through all of them. And the weapon wheel kind of puts the game into a slow motion state for a little bit.
And on the PC, it's similar?
Yeah, absolutely. You just pull the weapon wheel up, or you can scroll through guns using the mouse wheel, or you can pull up the weapon wheel, scroll to a gun, or move your mouse to it. So it's kind of a universal system that I think just works great when you're trying to manage kind of that full load of guns.
Oh boy!
Again, you can see like one of my favorite moments.
Oh man, you gotta like prep that up. You can't just do it. You have to like get us prepared for it. Chainsaw Revenant. Chainsaw Revenant.
Oh, absolutely.
Crushing my dreams.
We'll have to find some gas.
Crushing my dreams. You'll find gas in hell, of course. It goes without saying. Oh man. Oh no. That is so cool.
Yeah, you end up, when you get into missions like this where there's just an overwhelming number of demons, you end up using glory kills somewhat strategically, and they actually play into the harder difficulties a little bit, because when you go into them, when you actually activate it, you have a moment, just a very brief moment of invulnerability. So when you're playing on something like Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare, you almost look for those moments where I can go in and glory kill a guy if I'm hanging on the edge of death, and because when you glory kill, it drops a greater amount of health and ammunition. Yeah. So there's a benefit to doing it too, and again when you're playing on a higher difficulty, it's particularly useful.
Yeah.
You see, Hugo's been using grenades. So we haven't really talked about equipment. You find throughout the game, you find a few different pieces of equipment. What you've seen there, riding the edge of death there.
Hugo lives life on the edge. Okay, this is what I've discovered with him so far. Throwing grenades on the floor, not prepping up chainsaw kills. There's just a lot of craziness with this guy. Go for it. Oh my goodness. That's a great glory kill. That's a good one.
Oh, I missed him.
Yeah, each demon, when you fight it, you can kind of see him here lining up, and Pinky charges, and you swing around. It's like being a bullfighter.
You just smacked him with his back?
With his tail.
with the tail on his back. That's disrespectful. But I'll take it. That's cool stuff. That's really cool stuff. And I see the haste there too, just hanging out.
Yeah.
You pick and choose when you want to use it. All right, so this way like, hey, this is going to be a good opportunity for me to take advantage of this, and
absolutely.
And you just jump right through a portal here. So
yeah, again, another kind of classic thing. It's like we use teleporters throughout the game and portals that allow you to kind of zip from one space to another. We've incorporated, movement is such a big thing. I didn't even talk about it when he was in the last in the Lazarus mission, but he has a double jump capability at this point. So you start out with just a basic jump, and then a few levels in, you discover these kind of double jump boost boots, and then double jump becomes a big part of your movement package, and it's just like, so he'll use it. He uses it a lot throughout here.
That quad damage?
Yep. Yes, it is. And it's perfect. It's perfect example. You may want to wait for that.
Really?
Yeah, because most of the fights escalate. So you get in, and if you can kind of handle things okay, a lot of times you want to hold off a little bit until you know the fight's gotten a little out of control.
Oh, that's just wrong. That is just disrespectful. Pinky gets no love here. Oh, geez, Louise, that's insane. That's cool though. That's really cool.
And that's a great example of a guy gets staggered, and then he uses like a fast kill gun to take him out. You don't have to glory kill every single time. It's kind of just a part of the strategy as you play.
Yeah, and I could go through the whole game probably just not glory killing.
You could if you wanted to. Yeah. It's once you start playing, it's one thing to watch, and then playing is just. Again, it's like dancing. You kind of get out there, and you're like, it just feels good to be moving through these spaces, and you get into a flow. It is that similarity to without the reload, the fast movement, you're dodging projectiles. All these ideas that early in the game we try to introduce kind of slowly. Because they're not common when you play most shooters today. You try to hide, or you try to let your health regenerate, or that kind of stuff. In this, you blast through, you keep moving. Dodging projectiles even is just something that I think we start players off fighting imps early because they throw the fireballs, and to get that feeling of swerving between fireballs, swerving between projectiles. Most enemies, their main attacks are either to pressure you or to shoot, to shoot a projectile. There's another good example. Just kind of dodging and weaving through that stuff. Oh my gosh, there we go.
Yes.
Brought out the big gun.
Use it.
Almost died.
Yeah, you were close, man.
It was close.
I'm telling you, you're living your life.
Holy shit.
Oh, oh no. Oh my goodness. That is so. No quad damage here. You're not committing. I think you should.
He's
commit.
about to.
I think you should commit.
I think he's going to use the BFG on him.
Yeah. Oh my good. Look at the way he
Let
just
him up.
crumpled like a cookie. Jeez. Go for it. Oh no way. That is just the worst way to go.
So,
Right
but
there.
that's a good example right there. Like, you fight a Baron, and that was a one-hit kill of a Baron, which is pretty with the chainsaw, which is like that's pretty valuable to be able to do that. But it cost all of his fuel. He had to be completely full on fuel, and it cost all of it. So now he doesn't. He picked up that ammo, but he doesn't have the capability to use that to kind of continue to get more ammo
Yeah,
from,
because
from lesser
obviously the
enemies.
point is you guys didn't want people just running through the game and just sawing the crap out of everything that they see.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, you want to like part of the
Yeah, go ahead.
part of the fun of Doom is again the weapons and figuring out what works when and how to do it and while the chainsaw is great, you don't want people to just use that.
Yeah.
Which I do respect it. Okay, so
Hugo's
things
making
look like
those guys easy.
So-
Lost Souls are fun.
so this looks like it's about to get really quick.
Yeah.
Like I don't know because this is a pretty wide open arena here.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid for you, Hugo.
He should ramp up the difficulty in that sense.
Yeah,
Like,
we had a big talk at the office as to whether, like, what difficulty I should play it at. Because, I mean, I've played the game a million times. So I'm definitely playing it on a definitely an easier setting for me.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is, these demons, they can't hold a candle to, Stone Cold Hugo over here. But
Actually, I'm sorry to cut you off. The in-flight mobility thing is I have it on right now, so it allows me to like basically move in midair.
yeah, it's a perfect example of like everything we do, we try to make from an upgrade perspective. These aren't like micro upgrades. They're not just little like, oh, I can get 5% more damage or something like that. They're pretty meaningful, and they really do fundamentally change the way the game feels or the weapon feels. So his in-flight mobility rune that he's using there, if you really like to play and have massive air control, you can see there like he jumps and he can almost jump out over a ledge and then pull himself back. These are really cool. I love these things. This is as part of our secret system, we have collectibles. These little Doom guy collectibles that when you find it, it unlocks. In our model viewer, you can access our model viewer and be able to see any of the demons, the guns, really up close and see the detail and level that's in them. And you unlock those through finding those collectibles in the world.
all right. So it seems like you're about to get. And so what is this yellow skull here?
It's a key.
Okay.
You find the yellow skull and unlock the door.
Is that where you're leaving
progression.
that?
I think that's where I'm going to leave the player.
This guy, man. I can't believe you do that to me. It's awesome. To me, I've traditionally been a multiplayer guy. I love just beating the crap out of people online. It's always entertaining. Or getting beaten the crap out of, But when I look at this, though, it looks like something I actually want to take time and go into and play. I can tell you guys put a lot of care into like how you thought about, the arenas, the level design, placement of items, all that stuff, which is very much, classic Doom. It is the feel of Doom.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, one of the big takeaways is, you wanted to strike that feeling of new and old, which I think you guys nailed it. For Doom fans out there who are watching, and for new fans, what more can they be expecting with the campaign? I mean, is it? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, you don't want to dive into too many secrets.
Sure.
Here, but, anything juicy they should know?
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously an immense depth from a secret perspective. So if you do like that, and we do a bunch of different things with secrets. We have collectibles that kind of reward you and allow you to see detailed models in our model viewer. There's some secret stuff that we haven't even talked about yet, and then you can get guns faster. Basically every gun is introduced at some point in the level before that in a secret location. So like if you are really paying attention and finding, we played through pretty straightforward, but you can actually. If you're looking around, and there was some pretty big secrets in like that very first mission that he showed, that he looked in and saw one of the elite guards. If you find that secret, you actually can then find another secret that reveals one of the plasma gun early. So there's a lot there, and really paying attention to what's going on. And some of the easier difficulties, you can take a hit or two, but in Nightmare, you've really got to be on the move.
All right. So now tell me about this section here.
Yeah. So this is the Lazarus facility, and this is a little bit more than halfway into the game.
Okay.
And at this point, you can kind of see architecturally and visually, it's quite a different experience. This place is pretty overrun. This is really the cult of the UAC. I mentioned that we've tried to really infuse the UAC with a bit more. I think when we were talking earlier, I said we've tried to infuse the UAC with a lot more. I almost don't want to talk over so people can hear it. But infuse the UAC with a lot more just kind of weird. Just we've made them very weird, and because they are weird. I mean, they experiment on demons.
It's definitely like kind of self-aware too. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's meant to be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Like this line right here.
Any questions or concerns on the initiative to weaponize the demons? Report to the chapel.
It's like not words you'd expect to hear in a business facility.
Yeah, report to the chapel immediately. Please save your work before you. It's like,
Yeah.
what are they doing here?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's actually, pretty cool. Again, when you think about the other Dooms, right? Doom 1 and Doom 2, definitely, it had its layer of story, but it wasn't one of those things that was like beating you over the head with it.
Definitely.
But then
this is actually what the game is all about right here.
Yeah,
it's like
it's about the weapons.
awesome
it's about all the
guns,
craziness.
and how you're going to use them, and kind of getting a sneak peek here of all of the types of upgrades. Again, at this point in the game, you've got a lot of the guns, you've got most of the mods. If you found the mod drones that do the delivery.
Yeah, so many points right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of points, so he's just kind of we're doing what we call dev load into so that we can jump ahead. So we just jumped ahead into the game. So we kind of set him up so we've got a lot of points, kind of a rough approximation of what you would have in the game. Here he's going to upgrade his suit a little bit more to kind of be more in line with this challenge. It's funny actually when you're playing like this. Sometimes at the office, somebody will try to play a later level without actually upgrading, and they'll have they'll have a hard time, and they'll be like, "Man, this is too hard." And like, did you do your upgrades?
I wonder who is going to be the person that plays Ultra Nightmare, no upgrades.
That would be hard.
How hard would that be?
So
like,
we have
scale of 1 to impossible.
Yeah, we have a couple people at the office that have gotten about a little over a halfway through without dying, but nobody internally has made it all the way through Ultra Nightmare without dying. So
wow.
We have a way to test it so that we know that it works. But as far as purely playing it exactly how it's how somebody might do it in the wild, nobody's done it yet. So it's going to be one of those things that when it comes out, it's going to be fun to see somebody do it. And it's interesting because it's one of those things like you think, man, somebody'd be really frustrated if they get all the way through the game and they die, towards the end. We had a contest a couple weeks ago of people trying to get through it, and one guy got about halfway through. He died and kind of put the controller down and he's like, man, I love this game. And that's the kind of that's just the fun we feel internally. Yeah, the Pinky, he's such a cool enemy.
This is so cool.
Hugo just exposed his weak spot right there. He's fun because if you he's really tough if you try to take him on from the front. But if you shoot him in the tail, he's much weaker from the tail. So you can use different guns and different combinations of guns to kind of exploit that weakness in him.
That makes sense. So, Hugo, you've been playing this quite a bit.
Yes.
I kind of want to get your thoughts. Who's like probably one of your favorite demons to face off against?
Probably the Pinky, because of what Marty said. Like we work hard to make sure that the enemies really make you think. Even though it's like a full-on action game, it's all about killing demons. There's definitely like a lot of strategy that goes on while you're fighting, and the Pinky really introduces that because he's armored from the front, weaker from behind. You kind of have to game him to get him to charge you, so you can spin around to his backside and hit him where he's not armored. There are different mods and stuff that you can use to do that, so it's, sorry, trying to concentrate. It makes it pretty fun.
You do what you have to do. Okay, you slay these demons. You destroy these monsters.
Right now, actually, I have something set up where I can get I have my runes set up, which is another part of the progression in the game, where basically I've equipped myself for speed. So you unlock these doing challenges in the game. This one is vacuum, so I can actually suck up some of the resources in the world without actually having to walk over to it.
Okay,
this one
that's
is
cool.
savagery. I can perform glory kills faster, and this one is blood fueled. I get a speed boost once I perform a glory kill.
Yeah,
so
that one's really fun. If you love the speed of the game and want, and even you've gotten used to it and you can control it really well, he's my favorite enemy in the game.
I have a running joke with my stream. I call him the Scottish Demon whenever I get him. It's one of my friends who's British, but I say he's Scottish just to mess with him. And whenever I get the Revenant in the multiplayer, I was like, the Scottish Demon. And I just ran around with this like really, really bad accent the entire time. I don't know, it's just kind of fun to like lose yourself in the game and just have a good time with it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually seeing exactly what you're talking about when you mentioned how you built the levels for, or these particular areas for combat, right?
Yeah.
I saw it right away, because even I'm looking at it, and as a gamer and someone who is going to play this game a lot, I looked at it and I'm like, oh man, I could probably go here, I could use this weapon here, and really just have fun with it. Because for me, I'd probably bust out a rocket launcher and just go to town on a lot of these people.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, you can show that. This area is really, really fun. There's the heavy assault rifle. He's got actually the scoped mod on it there. This is the rocket launcher. This is similar to in multiplayer. You can remote detonate it, and in an arena like this, it's really fun to use that because you can explode it in the air. Like you get guys that are up on those higher
that's my
perches.
baby right there.
Yeah.
I love the pulse rifle.
Oh yeah,
It's so good.
the plasma. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it has some cool, like there he used the stun mod to stun that Revenant and then take him out with a second shot.
Oh my God.
One
What
of
is
the
that?
people saw this at E3, but why don't you show real quick the weapon wheel? Because it's a fundamental part of actually switching weapons fast.
Chain gun.
Yeah, this is really cool.
What
chain
is
gun.
that? Is that a?
That's the base. That's the base chain gun.
But what is he fighting? I can't
Oh,
see.
I think that was a Hell Knight.
Oh, it was a helmet. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't see too well from here. Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh, he's just picked up haste.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
And it's cool to enter an arena. I mean, it's kind of like a bit of a pro tip. You walk into an arena and you see, it's very Doom also. You walk into an arena and you see a power up in the world and you're like, I wonder when I should use that. Like, you see a haste or a quad damage or something like that, and you really have to kind of have this moment of thought of like, I'm gonna wait until I just absolutely need that. And then even on replays, you kind of choose different times to do it. And the difficulty setting, the way the arenas are constructed, the improvisational nature of the combat, it all makes it very. We say this all the time. The game's really replayable. It's really fun to go back to arenas and play them over
Especially
and
with
over.
the different settings, right?
Absolutely.
And even with the different
Pump up the
approaches you can
difficulty.
take. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We even have, I mean, as we've prepared for demonstrations like E3 and that kind of thing, we have almost like competitions internally to see who can make it look the best, who can do it. So I think, we're here at Twitch, but I think people will really dig the ability to do playthroughs and runs on missions over and over and just show it in a totally different light and with different upgrades and different rune abilities.
Well, I think what's really going to be exciting, in particular for people who stream Doom on Twitch, is, one thing that people love to see is failure.
Yeah.
Okay, they love failure.
Yes.
Okay. I think games like Dark Souls are a testament to that. People love watching that. They love watching people fail and get frustrated and do all that stuff. I watch a lot of those streams where they have death counters at the top of like how many times they've tried to do this thing. And I think that is something that people are actually really going to gravitate to here, right?
Yeah.
Like how how many times I fail, how many times I succeed, how I do so, and the sick things that happen mid-game, because there's always going to be these crazy moments.
Yep.
So something I did want to touch on here is, of course, Doom, you guys brought back a lot of mechanics that were very familiar to Doom, such as no reloading, which I just want to point out, first day playing the multiplayer beta. And I, again, had never really touched Doom that much. I wasn't, too familiar with it. And I was playing and I'm like, where do I reload? I'm just so used to reloading.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, you don't in Doom. But then you guys also added, things that weren't in the original Doom, such as, jumping, right?
Yeah.
Which is something that you really couldn't do in that.
It'd be hard to not have a game nowadays without
jumping. Yeah. But I think that is quite interesting because a lot of, to be realistic, these days, a lot of people are kind of releasing games with very similar mechanics, whether that be aim down sights, whether that would be sprinting, a variety of different tools. We're seeing movement really play a role in a lot of different things now. What was, I guess, the challenge for you guys there? Because essentially, you have to make a game that is classic Doom, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have to make a game that speaks to the community while also making a game that speaks to a new audience. And do you feel like you hit that balance there?
I feel like we did. It is a challenge. We've spent years in development on this. This is actually I'll answer that question, but this is actually one of the rune trials. But just to show it here. So we talked about those. We talked about the runes that you can earn. You do these through these trials, and they basically take you to a different. Kind of like a little challenge level.
Oh, that's sick. So you just got to destroy everything in a minute and 30 seconds, 14.
For this
different
one.
Every time.
Yeah, it's different every single time, and each one gives you a different rune trial. There's 12 of them throughout the game, and that one is destroy everything within a certain amount of time. There's ones where it's more about movement and getting through through the world in a certain amount of time. And then again, those unlock these. These are upgraded or mastered through challenges, so you can see their vacuum. You can upgrade. It's actually already upgraded, but some of the other ones, you have to kind of continue to use that. The nice thing, actually, if you go back to runes real quick, it's when you get your first rune, you get these slots, and so you get your first slot. But then as you continue to play, when you've found and been awarded 4 runes, it opens up a second slot. And then once you've done 7, it opens up a third slot. And these are all stacking capabilities. So you get this really awesome ability to tune the gameplay to exactly how you want, just based on stacking these runes together in different combinations. And you can adjust these at any point during the gameplay. He just jumps in here and does this. So you get into a boss fight and you may adjust your runes. Like you maybe don't want something that plays so much into glory kills. You want something that gives you infinite ammo when your health or when your armor's above.
What are we seeing here right now?
This is actually a pretty early level in the campaign. It's the second kind of mission you're on here. It takes place in what's called the Resource Operations Facility in the UAC. You've basically at the very beginning of the game you've woken up. And fought your way out of a kind of a secret bunker that you're in. You don't know why. You don't have a really good idea of what's happened. And you really just you start tearing things apart.
So if you don't mind answering this, I noticed the characters, the different demons and all that stuff and monsters. They flash with like orange and blue. I know that has been talked about before, but I guess for some new viewers who may not have seen Doom before, what does that actually indicate?
Yeah, that's kind of our glory kill system. When you've done a certain amount of damage to an enemy, your visor and your HUD highlights them in that way. When they turn kind of that bluish, that means they're stunned and they're kind of in a state of we call it a stagger state. And they're particularly vulnerable. And you can shoot them, you can run up to them, and then glory kill them. And when you get close enough, they turn orange. That's all. That stuff can be turned off through the settings if somebody doesn't like that, wants a little bit more of a challenge for themselves.
Okay. Speaking of challenge,
yeah.
As a matter of fact, ultraviolet mode.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, Hugo's playing on Hurt Me Plenty. We didn't want him dying too much, but the challenge of playing the game is actually a really big thing. Here he's bringing up our automap, that station he touched. You find those throughout the game. Without that, you basically kind of go through and you're revealing parts of the level as you go through. But finding secrets is a big deal. So here he revealed kind of a secret space by getting the automap and seeing that there was a space above him that he might not have realized before.
Nice. And we did see just there Olivia Pierce, who actually is going to be a central figure in the story. We probably don't want to dive too deep.
Yeah.
Because clearly we want people to discover that when the game releases. But I would say for Doom for Doom single player people, sorry, I love the multiplayer so much. For Doom single player guys, it's a little bit of a change of pace, right? Because Doom had traditionally told stories through just like segments of lines and sentences, like, oh, this situation's happening here, and so on and so forth. Really simplistic stuff. But you guys are bringing in an antagonist into this to really help drive the narrative for why our character is doing what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. We don't put story front and center at all. Doom's about doing this. I mean, it's about fighting demons and using awesome guns. So it hasn't been a huge focus necessarily, but as I mentioned, we've tried to infuse a lot of mystery and a story that will keep you kind of playing and digging if you want it. We tend to kind of say like we keep it pushed out of the way a little bit and have you diving in to try and figure it out. Here's another example. He kind of is seeing that there was a suit of armor up there that he missed. Again, players can choose to pull that up whenever they want. If you're really into the exploration aspect of the game, and you want to find all the secrets and you want 100%, might be something up there. But
so is that bit there when he brings up the map visible always, or is it just like, hey, here's this part that you may have missed, and then the map kind of alludes to a hint, or there are even more secret portions that I probably will miss and the map won't tell me?
Yeah, there's absolutely in fact the map doesn't specifically tell you where there's secrets, and because he found the auto map station, it's revealing the whole map. If he wouldn't have found that just that piece, it would only be revealing where he's going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, and then the auto map stations, are they like actually hidden within the map, or?
Yeah, there's one in each map, usually kind of towards the beginning, so you can try and find it. Or if you're just more into like running and gunning, you can skip them. Exactly. You can see here actually we've talked about the glory kill system a little bit, but one of the nice things about it is it's really contextual, so you can see basically wherever he's looking on the character, he's getting these really fluid kills, and again it's completely optional to glory kill enemies, and as you get further into the game, it becomes kind of strategic. Like you could have a few guys staggered and decide, man, this is a perfect opportunity to take them out with a bigger gun, use a rocket launcher or a Gauss. In this case, these are all pretty early enemies. This is very early in the game, so you're mostly fighting imps and zombies.
And the codex here. Tell me about this.
Yeah, this is actually one of the ways that the players can dive in and figure out figure out the lore of the game. Again, we don't really do cutscenes and big cinematic moments. It's just not what we feel like Doom is all about. But we did want to provide a really nice foundation for players to be able to understand what was going on with the UAC, a little bit about who you are, and about and quite a bit about what was going on there, and actually give quite a bit of lore on the different characters or the different monsters, the demons. It's a pretty rich universe that hasn't we've never been particularly explicit about some of these things. So we talk about how revenants are formed, and there's a whole kind of fiction behind that. But again, it's there if you want it. If you just want to kind of play very naturally and just power through, you get that.
Yeah, well, if I recall correctly, one of the trailers, I'm trying to remember which trailer it was, but actually showed the construction of a cyber demon, if I was correct, all right? And I find that to be really interesting too, because Doom is a pretty gruesome game, so there's always like those instances. Like I think one of the most prominent scenes in a video game for me, which is so weird, is like dating back to the 360, which I can't believe I said dating back, but that's the world we live in now. Where I think it was Quake 4, I want to say, when like you're going through the I guess construction process of like your legs being like ripped up.
Process.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy, and I actually think that is a pretty cool element that you guys are bringing into Doom. You're really trying to highlight the gruesomeness, while at the same time not really trying to throw like crazy amounts of story in your face, and I also appreciate that it's not shock value, right? It's more like, I have giant guns. I'm going to beat the crap out of all the demons and monsters and everything that is around me.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of beating the crap out of monsters,
yes.
here comes a chainsaw. This is
Hugo,
really cool.
have fun.
And Hugo's kind of actually been, if you're paying attention at home, he's kind of revealing a couple secrets. We're not gonna ruin all the secrets, but it does give you an example of if you look around and you try to find some of the secrets. This is actually I was gonna actually have him turn this off, but he was gonna turn off tutorials here. But you get a sense of all this type of things that you can configure through the game. You can change, show your HUD. You can turn off the entire HUD.
Turn off the glory kill highlight.
Turn off the glory kill highlighting. Yeah, you can play it almost like a stripped down version where there's just you, your gun, and the demons.
I saw crosshair styles there.
Yeah, you can change to a simple crosshair.
Okay.
Something we actually pulled across. It's kind of fun to do is field of view. Not a lot of console games.
Thank you.
Do field of view. If you want the game to even feel just a little bit faster, just crank that up a little bit to 100.
I played 110.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, on the multiplayer.
I loved it. Like a lot of my viewers on my stream were telling me, dude, just go full 110. Thank me later. And oh my goodness, look at that. that is just amazing.
The you just mentioned just not all gratuitous. The chainsaw even has a really specific purpose in the game, and as you get deeper in and you're fighting more heavier enemies, harder to kill enemies, it actually serves as a means to when you chainsaw a guy, it gives you a massive dump of ammunition, almost enough to refill all your guns.
Really?
Yeah, if you notice down there in the bottom right-hand corner, there's two little kind of markers. That's your chainsaw ammo, and you find ammo throughout the world. And different enemies, these enemies take only one fuel cell, but some of the heavier guys will take all of your fuel or 3 of your fuel. So you're kind of as you get deeper, there's guys that if you get low on health or you get low on ammo, you can kind of make the choice of like I want a really big dump of ammo when I chainsaw this guy, or I want the one-hit kill, and you kind of spend your ammo accordingly. So here's this is kind of a we love the classic elements, kind of doing them in a new way. This is a yellow security station. This guy was able to pass through. I can see. So we do a lot of our storytelling and kind of hints and clues through the world in a very just environmental way.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't stop you down. He elected to go up there and touch that. So and it gave him a clue like that guy can get through there. So now he's kind of on a quest to find that guy. And as you can see here too, like we're kind of touching. He's looked into some areas that he can't quite get into yet, and showing some branching paths. So lots of different ways to approach getting through the space and kind of making your way through the game.
Oh, I like that pistol. It's nice. A couple one-shot kills there.
Yeah.
What's the alternate fire for that?
It's a charge up.
To charge up?
Yeah, you can see right there.
Ah, okay, that's nice. And actually, since we are talking about the weapons here, you guys made some changes to how the weapons are done, modifications and all that stuff too.
Yeah, we'll get into like this again. This is pretty early in the game, so we try to ramp the player up. There's a lot of kind of mechanics and ideas that this actually being one of them right here that are a little bit different than other games. You'll notice as he comes into this space, we've talked about the way our combat spaces feel kind of abstract, almost like arenas, like skate parks. We tend to call them. I love those.
That was a good one.
Kills from above.
Way to go, Hugo.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorites. I like the sweep.
Yeah, but if you look at this space, it's set up for combat. I mean that we build these spaces for very fun combat, and then visually, make them make some sense. But really, they're built for combat. So you'll see how he kind of moves through this world. This is a gore nest. These things are present. They kind of create these lockdown areas that when you take them out, it summons demons to kind of protect the space and do a bit of a last stand. So you always kind of see those and you rub your hands together going, this is going to be a good fight. Again, this is pretty early in the game, so a lot of enemies that kind of on the smaller side, but very acrobatic. That's one of my favorite glory kills.
Oh, dude, look at you. It's almost like you've done this before, Hugo. This actually looks pretty cool here, and yeah, this section is pretty gruesome. Oh,
my God!
Oh no way!
Blew himself up.
You had one job.
That's right.
Sorry.
You had one job.
He'll get back to it. This arena is really, really fun. It's
Yeah.
At this point in the game, you've actually played through a few arenas. There's as you kind of have crossed the Martian surface at the very beginning in the first mission. We kind of ramp you up again. It plays really different than a lot of modern shooters. You know, we've said kind of throughout the campaign that if you stop, you're dead. I mean, it's all about movement.
Well, I got caught in a corner there. That's when I died.
You got caught in a corner. It was a grenade to your feet. Pretty much, you set yourself up for failure.
Which actually reminds me that I should probably at least give myself. I have 1 point.
So,
Okay, so what are we seeing here?
yeah, right here. This is our kind of Praetor suit upgrade. So the suit that you wear is called the Praetor suit. We talk a little bit about that in the lore, but what he's kind of diving through here. Why don't you bring those back up real quick so we can explain them. This is where you upgrade. As you can see, right now he only has the pistol and the shotgun. And he's already received 2 modifications to the shotgun. So each gun has kind of a base capability that you use with the right trigger, and then as you explore the world, you find these supply drones.
Yeah.
They scan your arsenal and give you options to attach a mod to this. So for the shotgun, he's already found the charge burst mod and the explosive shot mod. And then there's upgrades that you can earn through these upgrade points that you earn all different ways: combat, exploration, and that kind of stuff. And what's nice about these is you actually don't have to follow the strict progression. You can, like, if you jump down, he could choose any of those open slots. Okay. And then once you've unlocked those 3, you then get a challenge that'll allow you to master the gun. And it really creates this nice progression. Now, Doom has always been about, well, and then I'll explain this so you can get back to gameplay. So his Praetor suit has these different categories of upgrades. You get these points through finding, through a lot of exploration. You find these elite guards that have this chip in them, and you get to spend that on your own suit. So here he's going to upgrade his dexterity or his environmental resistance, area scanning, equipment systems, and allows you to kind of hone the gameplay to your specific preferences.
Yeah, and I noticed he basically had 1 slot on 3 categories there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. And that follows a path. So you kind of spend it however you want. If you really are the kind of player that loves to find secrets, there's upgrades that allow you to do that more easily. If you love the equipment system, you can continue to upgrade that. If you want a faster experience, your dexterity stuff is really, really fun to make glory kills faster as you play through the game. And Doom has always kind of been this escalation of guns and demons. So you kind of take 1 step on the ladder, and then the demons take 1 step up, and then you take 1 step up. And so we've done that through the collection of guns, but also the finding of mods, and then the progression through upgrades.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that too, right? He went after the that particular with the gore segment.
Yeah.
And the monsters that are popping out, aren't your big monsters at this point in time, right? I could see that ramp up potentially happening, and makes me even more excited for what the future levels are going to look like, because I can only imagine how ridiculous it gets. And something I, of course, don't. Oh, nice! Look at that right there. Just hit him with it. So something I did want to know is about maybe potential new demons and new monsters. Is that like something we could see, or are you guys sticking to the core and what people love and the monsters that have been around?
A lot of the core, but we do have some surprises in there that I think people will enjoy.
Ooh,
we're trying not to give too much away.
No, it's perfectly fine.
But yeah, we've got some fun stuff in there.
Nice.
But I mean, it kind of going back, we to an earlier question about it, just being Doom. We really did want to. We did want to start, and we really do look at this as a foundation we can build on in the future. We really hope to build on. We did want to start with the things that people love and we love, so like Pinky Demons and Cacodemons, Hell Knights, Barons. So you'll see a lot of that stuff in here. This is again just another little clue of following the guy you're looking for.
Yeah.
That's my yellow key card basically.
That's your yellow key card.
Yeah, kind of a new take on yellow key card.
Okay, that's cool. So now, speaking about the missions too, of course, the community has a very deep appreciation for all the various missions, and like they play them over and over again and find new ways on how to improve on their, whether it be their strategy, their approach, or just enjoying the design of the levels. Because if that's actually the one thing that I've noticed a lot about the Doom community, because I've been reading a lot of the Doom subreddit, various Doom community sites, and what I thought was pretty cool was really seeing the appreciation that these guys have for game design and the approach. And I think you touched on that a little bit, saying like, this area here is built for combat, right? And like, and you layered it. And of course, I'm fully expecting the community, when the game comes out, to deep dive and break down every single detail. So with that said, speaking of like what people can expect, when they play the missions and whatnot, how long can they expect each mission to be? Is it just cater to how long you want to take? Like if I run through everything like a crazy person, like how long would like the average time from start to finish for each mission?
It really depends on how you play and how much time you spend. Most of our play tests, we do focus tests at the studio. Most of our focus tests for new players who kind of their first run through of the game, if they're looking for a moderate number of secrets and trying to upgrade their guns and that kind of thing. It's in the 13 to 15 hour range to get through on a normal difficulty setting.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and then that probably scales up as you.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to
ultraviolence,
it really changes the way you play and your strategy. But then you can move through it if you play on an easy skill level and just kind of like blow through it. You can get through it quite a bit faster. We'll do speed runs that kind of go